Myles Garrett did sign his 5-year, $125 million extension this week. And when he spoke to the media yesterday, he was asked why it's important to stay in Cleveland, a team, that hasn't won a playoff game since back in 1994. Here he is.
I kind of like that the history is, what it is, because it will only make it so much sweeter when we turn this thing around and actually start winning big games, winning playoff games, and finally get to that last one. So I'd like to be a part of that. I'd like to lead the pack for that. And so wherever we do that, wherever it starts next year or how many years it takes, I want to lead Cleveland to that promised land.
To the promised land we go. This is Big Deal or No Big Deal on Good Morning Football. Nate, Myles Garrett saying he wants to take the Cleveland Browns there, the promised land. Big deal or no big deal?
That's a big deal. Yeah, the promised land? We're going biblical, aren't we? The place of pure happiness? Listen, I'll tell you this. The promised land is the big deal because, the division is the land of Big Ben and the land of Lamar. You're going to have to do some damage in order to get to the promised land. In order for you to get to the land of milk and honey, you're going to have to prove that you're worth that money. So go out there and lead by example. And hopefully what you do on the defensive side of the ball can transfer over to the offensive side of the ball, because last year it just seems like this entire team was disjointed, starting with the new head coaching hire, signing Myles Garrett, and then the offense having a renewed focus, starting with Baker Mayfield. It's going to be a tough road, but yeah, I like the fact that he's saying it because, you have to put things out into the earth in order for it to come true.
Honey and money, Nate, you're so funny and funny. Is it a big deal that he said it? No, Myles Garrett is a smart guy. You get this huge contract, you're supposed to say we're going to the promised land, You
right. Take
your wife out to the steak dinner and give him some earrings, she's supposed to say, just wait till we get home. That's just kind of how it works, it's polite. But the Super Bowl? Listen, for the promised land right now for the Cleveland Browns is a wild card game against the Bills. That would feel like the Olympics. That 1994 date we threw out, guys, Myles Garrett wasn't even born then. They have a Super Bowl roster. I've said it all offseason. They have Super Bowl talent. But we haven't even sniffed anything significant as a franchise in years, since long before Garrett got there, since Garrett got there. A wild card game. Let's just crawl a little bit before we can walk. One playoff game will feel like they won a championship, and they'll have a parade, and shirtless J.R. Smith will show up again. I hope it happens.
Just to get you into my head, while Nate is talking, I'm figuring out how to use milk and honey in my answer. And then he just took it to the next level the way that he did it. And it's like you're trying to tackle Tyreek Hill in the open field, and you're trying to and you're just flat-footed, and zoop, he's just by you. That was basically me. I think it's a big deal because Myles Garrett's coming back from last year and everything that happened last year, including his situation on the field. And he's got a team that has stood by him from the beginning and defended him, number one. And then number two, backed it up, put their money, their milk, honey, money, where their mouth was with this contract. And so now you've got two factors for Myles Garrett to really feel good about the team behind him. And he's performed well already. Now add in the fact that maybe he feels like he needs to live up to not only the contract, but this team's faith in him. It's kind of scary when you think about where his production could go from here, and that's why the Browns gave him this deal, and that could be a huge factor for this team finally getting to the promised land, the playoffs, whatever you want to call it.